Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the time, Michael. I wanted to share everything I can that might be interesting to anyone about Channel Media Group. Um, we've been in business as Channel Media Group for about a year and a half now. Uh, it'll be 2 years in October. The business came from uh, my father started a company called uh, Workplace Impact. It was also called Workplace Media. It changed names a couple times, and that was in 1988 that he started the business. It operated for about 30 years or so, 28 years. And my sister and I restarted the business under the new name of Channel Media Group, and sort of updated the capabilities in some ways that uh, hadn't sort of uh, come into the 21st century yet. And so we um, put together Channel Media Group as a company that reaches people at work. We do it based on geolocation, and we also do it uh, based on profession. So we deliver samples and messaging to folks where they work, which is sort of a niche concept. And there's not a lot of other companies that do that. What my sister and I uh, created was a sort of communication channel to these ambassadors that we have at each business. We have about 35 million business, or sorry, 35 million is the total reach, but we have about 500,000 ambassadors in our network, which is one representative at each business in the network that distributes these samples and offers to their employees. Typically, they are HR folks, HR managers, office managers. But if the business is small enough, it can be, the CFO or the CEO, the president of the company. Um, as you can see here on the site, I guess about 30 million employees. The average business size is about 72, and we have about 420,000 ambassadors. This is an interactive map that we put together that is a fun way to see how the network breaks out um, based on, we have, of course, I'm sure that everyone is thinking, oh, you reach people at work. What happened during the pandemic here when no one was at work? And of course, so we broke out our network based on essential workers and non-essential workers, so that those audiences could be addressed in that way. So you can see here, we can break out our audiences based on the different business classes, uh, such as construction, uh, which our total reach is about 3.5 million. And I will share the link to this interactive map or our website that you guys might be able to have some fun with it. But you can select different states and show, reach based on business class and geolocation. So I'll get into the capabilities a little bit here. In terms of uh, our, sorry, I'm looking at everybody. There we go. Okay. Right. So I kind of outlined that we reach people with samples and offers, so larger CPG national brands, even smaller regional brands use this as well. Retail and restaurants, that is typically our client base. and larger. They are larger national brands. And I will show you a bit about a program that we've done recently, actually mid-pandemic, to a segment of construction workers nationally, for a Fortune 100 office supply brand. And this is, uh, uh, as I highlighted before, how we target industry and profession, geolocation, proximity to stores, um, which I can show you here. Like this is our example of our reach for Walmart. So Walmart might be interested in this, as well as any CPG brands that distribute or that have their products in the retail stores. And this is a fun slider here that shows the distance or proximity to the Walmart location. So you can see at a mile out, we can reach 4 million people with product samples or messaging. This is sort of an example of the different professions that we can reach: retailers, educators. Our biggest are construction, and educators actually are the highest numbers we have in our network. So in terms of the way that we do this sampling and distribution, we send out email to our network of whoever our clients are trying to reach, right? So if it's construction workers, we send out an email to all of our construction businesses and the ambassadors at those businesses, and ask if they're interested in distributing samples of Red Bull to their workers. They have to fill out a form that also says that they're willing to distribute the samples, confirming their information. So we have express permission to send samples, send offers into these businesses, and have confirmation that our network is going to distribute the samples as we ask. This is an example of some artwork for a physical campaign for a retailer for Valvoline, as you can see here. Here's another example of a program we did for Post-it. They had an extreme Post-it note that they were putting out, and they wanted to get it to construction workers. And this is one we did for Sephora. So you can see there's the print aspect to it, but we reach through email, and in terms of opt-in, that's how we reach people, is through email. So there's the digital component is kind of baked in, and we kind of we try to do the programs together. It's not, we don't typically do an email-based program solo. We do the physical and the email, and digital can be tied into it too. And we can do geofencing around the businesses that or even around the locations of the businesses, our clients that we're trying to distribute and messaging and whatnot for. And see, there's another example of a restaurant. Here's some pictures of we do a photo contest for folks to send us images to share with our clients based on their experience with the samples. This is the Post-it extreme example of our network photos. And so we do a customized survey as well for the program we did. I probably have gone too far in telling you who this program was for, but we did a blinded campaign insights, which shows you sort of the deliverables based on this program that we did. I won't
Kevin, you
say
have
her name
5 more
again.
minutes. So if you want to switch at
I
some
feel
point to
like
Q&A.
that's 5 minutes too long. I feel like I should go into some Q&A, but really this is just the high level of the overview of what we deliver to our clients. Really, the fun part here is to see, basically that, in a program through us, we are able to deliver email marketing impressions as well as, delivering the physical. And so it's kind of the online offline approach here, a bit of an omni-channel in that way. And this is just, I just wanted to highlight that, our response rate for this program was 27%, which is pretty incredible. This is, something that I think is fascinating that we share with our clients, where their samples went into circulation. We show them by DMA, by state, by city, and so that they can check lift versus, by store, by geolocation, they can check their lift. So I'll leave it open from here for questions. Thanks for listening, and I appreciate the time again, Michael.
Thank you. So there are 2 questions, both from me.
Okay.
The first question you already answered, examples of clients and products. And so my other question was, are the physical items, so the samples, or if it's a printout, are they actually handed to each employee, or are they typically left in like a break room or a common area?
Yeah, so typically it depends on the profession as to how they're distributed. Typically, a teacher, a school, educators, administrators in the school receive it in their mailboxes. If it's an office setting, it's typically delivered to their inbox on their desk. With samples, they're placed on the desk typically. But there is some common area distribution. We've found about 10%, 8% of samples are distributed in that way, but a majority of them are delivered to desks and mailboxes.
Very cool. And the incentive is just essentially the product itself, the whether it's coupon or the sample or.
Right. Yes. Typically, as you see here, this is an example of for a restaurant. They deliver we deliver higher value offers. We found that our network is not typically coupon clippers, and we're reaching them where there's not a lot of clutter with advertising, marketing. In the office, a lot of people receive tons of stuff at home, see the billboards on the way to work, but they don't typically receive a lot of information in the marketing and advertising world at work, other than digitally on their computers. So, but being able to deliver the physical at work, as well as being able to deliver digital at work as well, through email and the digital component of digital display and whatnot, can be tied into the programs too.
And are there any like contest components to it? Like if you share this, the person who shares it the most will get, something.
Yeah. So typically when we do our contests, they are photo contests because, with CPG anyway, they're photo contests. But yes, we do add in that sort of contest, and they're random drawings, and so anybody who participates has an opportunity to win. We found that to be motivating, and it's typically we have 5 $100 Amazon gift cards or something to that degree that motivates people to fill out the survey, distribute the samples, take pictures of the samples being distributed, and things of that nature, as you saw here.
All right. Any other questions? Since I hogged the questions.
That's okay. I have one if I could.
Sure.
So Kevin, when you showed the lift in brand awareness and in likelihood to purchase, can you give me a little bit of an idea of how you did that research, your pre and post, and did you work with a third party research company, or did you do it yourself, or
Yeah, we did it ourselves. We send out the surveys to our contacts within the businesses, our ambassadors, after they receive the samples or the offers, and they fill out the survey, which gives us the information that you see in the high level here. Yes. And I know it does sound a bit like we're grading our own homework here. I do understand. That's a good question.
So when you say you send it to the ambassadors, so how many people are you actually surveying?
Right. So that's so 1,300
Okay.
and
Yeah.
3 people responded. To reach 500,000 people with samples at the average business size, I think, I can't remember, it was 80 or somewhere around there. It was about 5,000 businesses that we delivered these samples to. And of those 5,000 businesses, 1,303 of the ambassadors filled out a survey, which is about 27%.
And what is the, I guess, cost per, I guess it depends, but typical cost per sample?
Sure.
Or?
Yeah, it depends on the specs of the samples for sure. But I will say, typically, I think it's about 50 cents an ounce, if that makes sense, in terms of the messaging and offers. The print side of couponing, I guess, is about 25 cents per person.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Any last question before we move on to our general networking?
Just curious about the size of the projects that you work on with this kind of advertising.
Sure. Typically, our lowest circulation we like to do is 100,000 circulation for the print side or for couponing. And in terms of sampling, 50,000 samples is typically our lowest. Just to give you an idea of like a ballpark of where we typically work with our clients.
Cool.
And those are 25 cents or 50 cents per, right?
That's right.
And then just out of curiosity, for your geofencing capabilities, are you doing that in-house on a DSP, or are you farming that out to a third party?
Vendor, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a specialty of ours. I sent you a LinkedIn connection.
Oh,
if
cool.
we could chat about it. Like that's one of the things that we're known for. So
Yeah, no,
I
and I would be more than happy to connect about that.
yeah, that word perks up my ears. And I'm like, I just want to talk to people about it. So
yeah, well, and it's something that we love to talk about. And I think it's a very exciting way to hit the people that we're hitting offline and through email in that third element, that third channel, which is an exciting thing.
Yeah, we'll need to grab a one-on-one. I think we'll have a fun conversation.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank
Cool.
you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. I just dropped in the chat the order in which people will go based on when they showed up. So we'll start, I think we'll do 2 minutes. I've got plenty of time, but we'll do 2 minutes. And we'll start with Steve Sadler, then Mark Thibault, Loretta Lurie. So just if you're off, unmute yourself. If you're on, obviously unmute yourself. And so Steve, take it away.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hi, everyone. I guess I'll start by mentioning that I'm currently looking for something new, just in case anyone knows of anything awesome. But in the meantime, I'm still with RightPath. I'm consulting for them, and it is a good company. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we do there. The company specializes in helping with customer acquisition, specifically by targeting potential new customers based on intent. So not really demographics or data sets, but intent. Sorry, I don't have COVID. I just tested negative. So since time's short here, I won't over-explain how we do that. But what I will do is give you an example. I think that'll be an easier way to get there. So let's say we're working with a CBD company, for example, since I've been working with a couple of those recently. We work with that company to come up with a number of search terms and phrases that would be relevant to them. So in this case, it would involve terms and phrases like CBD and joint pain and anxiety, insomnia, whatever, things like that. So now when anyone types any of those terms into their browser or talking about it on social media, we're able to know about that. And the same goes for if they're visiting maybe their competitor's website. We can know that too. So all those leads and names go into a bucket, and we can usually get a large number of those names down to their email address. And then scrub them for opt-ins and opt-outs to make sure we're only contacting the right people that we should be contacting. And we're able to send them an email with our client special offer on there. So in theory, they're online today searching for information, and we can hit them up tomorrow with something very relevant to them. So that affects open rates dramatically. And that's about as simple as I can describe RightPath. I mentioned CBD, but there are some other, other types of companies that work well for us: financial, mortgage, refi, insurance, luxury products, restaurants. Really any retail or e-tail type company is ideal. And that also ranges from small startups like a lot of the CBD guys to larger, more established brands that I've worked with, like for example, Quicken Loans. So kind of broad in size and in what they're doing too.
All right. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Let's say Mark, then Loretta, then Jason Kramer. Mark, you're up.
Hi, I'm Mark Teeble. I'm with Growth Strategy Advisors. What we do is basically pre-branding. So we do quantitative, qualitative research. We do go-to-market strategies. We do a lot of positioning, a lot of competitive analysis. And at the back end, I also do some customer experience work, and I actually like that quite a bit. Basically, most of my clients are either one of two things. They're either private equity groups or they're private clients. And usually the case is that they really don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They're either lost if they're private clients, or they're looking to possibly add a new capability or a new opportunity, and I help them explore the market. That's what I do.
Okay. Any examples that might sort of give it a little more richness?
Sure, why not? Recently, I went back and revisited a case on population health that we did a very extensive survey for about 2 years ago. And lo and behold, the market is still fragmented. There's still a couple big players, but basically it's actually pretty cool because a lot of these companies are owned by a combination of a doctor and a PhD data scientist, and they form a lot of different partnerships. And that's really kind of cool that, they figure out how to make this work so that they can compete with the big guys,
When you say population health, what do you mean by that?
Basically what that is, that's become a big deal since a couple of years back, since Medicare. But the gist of it is they want to keep people out of hospitals. So what they do is they mine into, electronic records, and they try and figure out who's more likely to go to the hospital and not. And they basically reach out to those people. Obviously, if you're healthy, you don't get as much attention as if you're in a high risk category.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Okay. Loretta, Jason, then John. Patch. Loretta, you're up.
Good morning. I'm Loretta Lurie. I have spent the bulk of my career in advertising agencies, both on the account service and the media side. Most recently was working with a publisher, actually a vendor that leased evidence-based data to pharmaceutical companies and their agencies in order to help with more specific targeting to different disease states. I have not been working for a while, and I'm looking really to do sort of fractional type of work. I'd love to do, fractional CMO or fractional, just coming in, working projects, being able to bring, multiple years of advertising knowledge to help somebody along. So that's kind of my gig.
And mostly pharma, you said, correct?
I was predominantly pharma over the last 10 years. So, and I have about 20 years of automotive behind that.
Interesting combination. Drugs and driving. Do not do it.
Don't always go together. Yeah. But, whatever.
All right.
Liquor in there to go with it, though. But it would have been a good mix.
An ideal target client for you?
There's kind of two things. Ideally, what I would really love to do would be to work with a vendor and their sales team to help them better understand how to get more of a media budget, which I've been very successful at 2 different companies. But they're, with COVID, most companies I was talking to were like, it's a nice to have, but not a need to have. They want to believe their salespeople can do it without help. I'm unfortunately on the side that believes that most salespeople don't really understand media questions, so they don't answer a lot of things properly and don't get nearly as much of the budget as they could if they understood it. But I also would be thrilled to work with either directly with a pharma company or probably more appropriately with a company working in a marketing role with a pharma company on projects that I could assist in.
Thank you very much. Jason, then John, then Jeff.
Great.
Jason Kramer.
By the way,
sorry.
Steve, I put a message in the chat for you. Want to chat with you about what you spoke about, so just let you know. Jason Kramer, Cultivize, based in mid-state or downstate New York, for clarification. So Cultivize. At Cultivize, we help our clients streamline their sales process and their marketing processes. We also help them retain more customers and improve repeat buyers and enhance their internal and external communications. And what does that really mean? Well, there's a lot of companies out there that sell CRM software, and a lot of them really great. But what makes us unique is that we actually help educate and train our clients and their teams and customize the system for their actual business. So we really roll up our sleeves and provide a white glove service to help make sure that their data is being used in the most effective way possible. And we also do that on an ongoing basis every month for the infinite life of that client. So we never just kind of set up and walk away, where they're ongoing to be really a partner to them. And what's interesting, actually, the Harvard Business Journal had put out an article recently that 69% of CR implementation fails because companies quite simply just don't know what they're doing and how to build it out. So they keep jumping from one system to another, blaming it on technology when really it's about the process. And the last thing to all of this is that we are one of 30 companies in the world that have our certification with the software we use, the only one in the state of New York. And I myself have 20 years of marketing experience. So even though we don't do any inbound marketing, lead gen, web development, or anything like that, all of that kind of knowledge, if you will, helps with the deployment for the CRM for our clients. Ideal client for us is a company spending probably north of about $50,000 a year on inbound marketing, and they don't have a system that's actually helping improve their sales process. Jason Kramer with Cultivize. Thank you.
I have a question for you. It's a quickie. You called it a CRM. It used to be called marketing automation. Are they becoming one and the same?
Well, it's all connected, right? So there's 3 components. There's the CRM, the marketing automation, and the sales enablement. So it's all bundled together under the same platform. We are a representative of a platform called Sharp Spring. For those that may or may not have heard of it, very similar to HubSpot. In fact, does everything HubSpot can do for half the price. And so I say CRM because most people don't know what marketing automation is.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
Try to
you
keep it
very
simple.
much. Yeah. John Patch, Jeff Schwartz, Dwight Griezmann. John, you are up.
Hey, good morning, folks. Jason, that's a tough gig to follow. I could have just put my name under your picture.
You should have showed up earlier, then you could have went before me. No.
That's right, exactly. Here at Tread4, very similar to Jason's company, we look at the sales and marketing automation stack, but we go a little bit further in looking at the people itself and the operations automation as well. So we look at the ability for companies to improve processes or create proven and repeatable processes. And in doing so, there's a lot of strategy sessions that help us get to the customer as a hero thought. So with that, our ideal client is small to medium-sized businesses who are looking for a full stack of technology, but really need to understand how to engage that stack appropriately. And Jason nailed it in the sense that most people don't realize that when you choose a technology, it's not going to do it for you. There's actually a lot of work behind adaptation of the people running those systems. So that's what Tread4 does. We do it for small to medium-sized businesses, mostly in manufacturing right now, but we're certainly trying to bridge into other industries.
And based in the Midwest.
That's correct.
Where exactly again?
Kansas City, but we work all over.
Kansas City. I think, is it Kansas that is center of the continental United States?
Well, there's a very small city in Kansas that is the geographical center of the United States. Yes.
Coffeeville, right?
No, it's actually called Centerville.
Oh, really?
There you go. Yeah, I know about it because that's the default on my map. So if you don't put an address, you will end up in the middle of the United States, or if you just put the United States.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Let's see. Thank you, John. Jeff Schwartz, then Swarz, then Dwight, then Victor.
I got to run, guys. Just letting you know.
Okay, thanks, Jason.
Okay.
I thought it was Coffeeville. So Google thinks it's Coffeeville that's the center of the state, because when Google Analytics doesn't know where somebody comes from, they put it in Coffeeville, Kansas. So that's interesting. But I'm Jeff Swartz. I'm with Ethic Advertising Agency. We specialize in hyper-targeted digital advertising and creative services. Essentially, I founded my agency 6.5 years ago as a full service agency, and we've niched down to that. So we have a good basis and a good knowledge basis of how everything works and complements each other, and then just decided we're going to focus on what we love and where we think the future is headed, and what we've gotten really good at. So with digital, we have actually with digital and creative, our ideal clients are actually in two verticals. One is direct to advertisers, and the other one is agency based. So with our access to certain DSPs and our skill set of focusing in the lead generation kind of push form of digital advertising, other agencies will come to us and say, hey, can you do this for us? Or can you do a video? Or can you do graphic design or animation or something? And so we work as fillers for other agencies and partners in those regards. And then with direct clients, we can do the same for larger clients. For some smaller clients, we can do a lot more. Since we were born out of a full service agency, we still maintain the capabilities and the tech and the skill sets to buy traditional if we need to. But our brand is really centered around the digital side of things and the creative as well. And the kind of size projects that we like to work on, ideally there's going to be 6 figures involved to go across the board of whatever somebody needs. But we work on things as small as $25,000 that can be spent over the course of 12 months as well too. And upwards of $1 million, somewhere in there. So that kind of falls into full service almost for small clients, all the way up to working with large agencies and large companies doing small projects or small to them projects. But that's me.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff hails from Pittsburgh. All right, cool. Who did I say was next? Dwight, then Victor. Jason unfortunately had to jump. Dwight, you're up.
Hello, everybody. My name's Dwight Griesman. I run a company called I for Growth. We help B2B small to mid-sized companies get more effective with sales and marketing. The goal is to get them to grow faster. We heard a little bit earlier from some folks about processes and technology and things like that. That's part of the solution often, right? So I come in as a fractional CMO, or I take on projects to help people get out of the paper bag that they can't seem to find the open end on. I've done projects recently helping companies hire their next CMO, working directly with the CEO to figure out what the characteristics are and what direction they want to take the company, and then help them create their job description, interview, and make a final selection. I'm helping a company now launch a new platform to market and basically structuring that in the whole marketing communication schema. And in other cases, I'm doing messaging, positioning, branding, as well as sales and marketing support and operations. So it really varies. Combination of coaching for the teams, including the CEO, as well as then hands-on marketing efforts across the spectrum. It really depends on what they need. My background, like I said, is predominantly B2B for the second half, B2C for the first half, but I focus on mid-sized B2B companies beyond Series A up to about 500 million.
Very cool, thank you. And Dwight and I met when he was a CMO of Forrester Research, and we came in on a potential pricing project, and he even had somebody on his team named Michael Price, right? Was his name Michael Price?
Yes. Some people are just named. Some people are named perfectly. It's just how it is. It's destiny.
All right. I don't know if he was a pricing specialist, though. He might have been. Victor Lee, and then I will go, unless I missed somebody. But Victor, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Michael. So nice to see everybody. There's a lot of familiar faces, some new faces. You know, there's actually a term for that thing you just mentioned, where somebody's name relates to what they do. And I've heard it called nominative determinism. So I'm sure somebody with a PhD came up with that title. And Michael, afterwards, I'd be interested to know about the meeting maker thing you sent out in your email. So I've been playing around with that a little bit. We'd love to know more about that.
I'll give Kevin some time. It's his product.
Okay. All right. That's good. So in the meantime, so what I do is I work on a variety of marketing and business development projects for my clients. I have two right now that I'm involved in. One is in elder tech, and the other is in telecom. So the elder tech project is basically, it's an on-demand elder services app. So if your elderly aunt needs to get, the COVID vaccine and needs somebody to go with them, and you can't do it, then through our app you can arrange through what we have people on our team. You get to pick who you like, who's available, and that person will pick up your aunt, take them to the vaccine, and most critically wait for them while it's getting done, and then make sure that they get back home. So our slogan is, when you can't be there, we are. And I think our target market is people like us. We're kind of in that age bracket where we have elderly relatives that we have some responsibility for. So what I'm looking for on behalf, so I'm the CMO, and so what we're looking for really is sort of initial set of clients. We're relaunching this week. We're relaunching this week. So we're looking for clients in terms of folks who have elderly relatives, or we're looking for professionals who play in this space. So for example, Audrey Glover-Dichter, I'll give a shout out to, even though she's not here, that she's the marketing attorney in Florida, and she referred me to an elder care attorney in the tri-state area. So those are the kinds of folks. So I'm building a little network of attorneys, accountants, financial advisors, physical therapists, fitness trainers, and so on, who all have a base of elderly patients and clients. And then, and then we kind of essentially trade leads back and forth. Also, in terms of developing marketing techniques, I'm having a chat with our buddy Jason down there. And because, as we're getting a lot of responses to our app. And so, but we're looking at things like, retargeting and really, pulling people through the funnel. So this group has been really very helpful on this project in a number of different ways. So thank you for that, Michael.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to go to gallery view. Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. All right. So I will do a brief intro of what I do. So as you all know, my name is Michael Bendit, and my company is called Software Development Resources. It's a very boring name, but it tells you exactly what we do. So I represent about 10 different software development teams that are boutique teams, and we really build applications in two areas. One is marketing applications. So everybody here is familiar with websites and e-commerce sites and mobile applications, stuff that reach out to a client's audience, and interfaces with them as well. The other half of the work that we do is for startups. So we're building their first product, their minimum viable product. Actually, Kevin and I are talking about something right now that might be an interesting product for actually, it's not a first product. It would be an upgrade to a client's product, a directory kind of thing. And we often come in to either take over something that exists or build something new. And when we're taking over, it's often because it was built by a freelancer or somebody's nephew, and the company has grown beyond that. And the nephew has gone on, the freelancer is skiing, whatever. And so they need a more professional team. And so all of my teams have been doing this for at least 5 years. Some have been doing it for 30 years. Believe it or not, software has been around that long. And my job is to really match the need, what the client's need is, with the right team based on things like the technology, the type of platform, whether they want to work with a purely domestic team or an offshore team or some combination of those things. And I'm there to sort of be that, matchmaker, and then make sure things proceed well going on. So great clients and introductions for me are small and mid-size marketing agencies, because we partner very well with small and mid-size marketing agencies, because we focus on the technical side, whereas many agencies, either they don't have those resources in-house, or they've decided it's more of a pain in the butt than it's worth, and so they want to outsource it. That's actually one of my selling points. Software ain't easy. And so, a lot of people would rather have somebody else do it. All right, great. So we have 10 minutes. So Kevin, Victor actually asked about Meeting Machine. And Kevin I developed that product. I don't know if he programmed it himself, but he had it. He, I guess, came up with the idea and is developed it, and it's been around. You want to give a little bit of a description of what it is and how it?
Yeah, I was just about to write Victor a note saying I'd be happy to connect, but yeah, I'm co-founder of the company. It's called Meeting Machine. It is basically a networking app for existing communities. It's to add to the stack to promote community engagement. Basically, you sign up as a community manager and generate a link that you send out to your community. Anyone who clicks on that link within your community and onboards to the app is identified as a part of that community. Every week on Monday, you connect your calendar as well and sign in through LinkedIn. That's how you onboard and give a little bit of information about yourself. And so it matches people within the group, that community, that click that link every week to there's the that's the group info for TRN. But basically every week it matches you for a one-to-one with a different person within that community until you meet everyone within that community, and then it looks outside of that community for other people on the entire platform to introduce you to. It's like a matchmaker in a sense as well. So I don't know if that answers any of your questions, but happy to take any other questions about that.
Yeah, so sign up. You sign up with LinkedIn, and it will send you an invite to meet with somebody based on your calendar. So you connect it to your calendar, either Google or 365, Office 365.
Right. And it triangulates your match with mutually agreeable time on both calendars, and it provides a one-touch call-in for both parties to dial into, so no contact information is shared. That's the other exciting part of the application.
And it's a 15-minute call. It also provides, I think, the LinkedIn link of the other person, so you can at least see who they are. And then it's a double opt-in, so both people need to accept it for it to actually be finalized. Yeah, for the meeting to be booked. So appreciate that, Kevin. It's sort of like Lunch Club, but it's a private lunch club, and it's within the group. And that's now another way for folks to connect with one another.